to This Is Your Ask Susan Sunday Q&A. Susan Lazar, Hart here, your congruency coach for people who are seeking a joy-filled, creative, and fulfilling life. You've come to the right place. What's not congruent in your life these days? Come on in and ask some questions. Today, hey Maureen, welcome, welcome. Today we're playing with a question that came from an Ask Susan member. You know how I love to hear from you, so I am so grateful when you pop them into Ask Susan, or whether you just write me and at susanlazarhart.com. I'm always looking out for you, so how does it get any better than that? Let me just check on the question that did come in, just so I get it right. Nope. Yeah. So let's wait for the algorithms to kick in. Hi, Ulrika. How you doing? Everybody's popping in. Tell us where you're from and what you're doing this beautiful Sunday. Hello from Egypt. Yay. Hi, Millie. How you doing? I love it. Egypt, one of the places I haven't gotten to yet, right? Not yet. Welcome. Tell us what you're doing on this beautiful weekend and just type it in. I love it when you all talking with each other. Let's go, because I want to get into this one. This is the question was a topic I'm looking at this week. This is from the person who wrote this in. The difference between choosing not to die and choosing to live. Maybe too big for Facebook Live. LOL. Hey, Tessa. Okay, so I love that you wrote this question, and there's never anything that's too big for Ask Susan. You know, we go in, we play, and if I feel like it requires something bigger, I'll do a special on it during the week. So don't ever think that the question is too big, too small, too whatever. There's no stupid questions. There's no question that somebody else isn't tapping into in their life. And hey, Torgum from Norway, and their life and their living. So grateful. So the difference, I'm looking at the difference. Okay, now this is what I hear a lot of. I'm looking at being creative. I'm looking at starting a new business. I'm looking at pivoting. I'm looking at, so one of the things that we've been taught in this reality is whatever you do, take your time, go slowly, look at all the possibilities, look at the energy. Where are you in all that? Right? So how many of you were taught or trained that before you even get in, get the feeling, get the sense of it, get the juice of it, ask a question like, will this add to my life 10 years from now, 2 seconds from now? Will this bring me joy? Is this congruent, right? Is this congruent with the way that I play, with what I'm asking for, how I'm asking you to create, right? We stop and we're taught to look, okay? Remember, the body feels, the head thinks. Okay, hey Kelly, they work together, right? They work together. So when we've been taught to say, well, look at, how are you looking at this? And look at this. You've actually separated yourself from your knowing. So that's just to start off. And I'm so grateful for the question that came in, because as I say, there's so many people. It's almost like when we say, I'm looking at this, we're not willing to commit. It's what is the energy behind looking at something, right? I'm looking at a business rather than I'm investigating with questions. What would this create? So that's the first part. So thank you so much. Again, you're not alone. Lots of people use that languaging. For me, remember every word you use has an energy to it. And I'm so grateful that you did use those words. I'm looking at this because again, it's something that a lot of people stick themselves with. And it's like I'm trying, right? Yeah. Hey Lola, how's it going? Oh, I got lots of hugs on that one. Yeah. So the second part of this, hey Rita, the difference between choosing not to die and truly choosing to live. That's a who does that belong to, right? Because as long as I'm looking at A or B, you get the energy on that, right? There's actually no joy in either of those. That's like how many, I got a big heart on that one. How many of you were given the choice of two things that you don't really enjoy? Like, you have choice, chocolate or vanilla. Oh, I kind of like pistachio. Nope, sorry, I gave you your choice. Right? Hey, morning, Lola. So when we say we're looking at the difference between choosing not to die and truly choosing to live, So what does choosing not to die mean to you? That would be my question. Hey, Bettina from Germany. Got international crowd here. What does choosing not to die? Right? Because, you know, I was watching something early this morning. You know, that's the way I play. I get up early and I do some meditation, and then I generally pop in something or listen to something while I'm walking Shiloh. And I was listening to Dr. Joe, actually, was a little YouTube thing, and somebody said, well, how come we die? And he said, because we're not actually willing to be present. Right? So we're born and we're taught that these cells have a certain DNA, they have a certain lifespan, they have, and that's reinforced and reinforced and reinforced and reinforced. So you actually convince your body that that's your reality. Right? So he said we're actually racing to die because we bought the whole thing, hook, line, and sinker. So it sunk us. He didn't say that. I said that. So when you ask a question, the difference between choosing not to die, well, you're actually dying. If you're choosing not to die, the difference between choosing not to die and this is her words, truly choosing to live. Right? Well, what does truly choosing to live mean? Like, did you breathed? Did you take a breath today? Did you truly take a breath? Or did you take a breath today? Did you pee in the toilet? Did you truly pee in the toilet, or did you pee in the toilet? It's like, you know, we are so good at distracting ourselves from creating a juicy, joyous, yummy life, right? In the present. Our lives are here already, right? We are not a random particle. There's nothing random about us. Right? Everything we be and do and create with and touch and smell and dance to and grow with is already here for us to touch, taste, grow with. Right? We've set it up that way. What do you mean, Susan? We've set it up that way in our desires, in the energy that we put out. That's what we attract in. So if your point of view is, I'm going to live in the present every damn day, I'm going to just, boom, I'm living in the present. I'm being present with everything. And I'm being present in a way that's congruent to me, to my life, to my living. Right? When we step back and ask the difference between not dying, choosing to not die, and truly choosing to live. Do you see how all of a sudden we've got a huge filter on being totally present? Right. Tessa says, I chose to thrive 11 years ago. Yeah. Bettina asks, what call did you listen to? You know what, Bettina, I just go into YouTube and I just pick whatever's popping in my universe. I couldn't tell you. They're all great. Yeah, I listened to Abraham, I listened to Dr. Joe, there's another guy I've been listening to, a really cool meditation, can't even remember his name, but he had you going through, you know, the entire universe. It's just what I'm in the question and I ask energetically, what do I require to hear today? That's being present, right? So, how's this ringing for you? How are we doing with this topic? Is this something in your ballpark? How many questions on this? The title of this was, are you distracting yourself with the risk of creating? Right. So when we say, I'm looking at the difference between choosing not to die and truly choosing to live. We're already distracting ourselves by saying, let me look at this. What's the risk here? Right. So, you know, at what age were you taught that life is a risk? Hey, Gloria, at what age were you taught that life is a risk? At what age were you taught that your creations were a risk? Are you sure you want to do that? Why don't you look at it? Get all the statistics. Is that your style? Is that how you play? It could be, and it could work for you. Awesome. Never worked for me. Once I start to hear that there's rules and regulations, and I'm just like, no. As an infinite being with infinite choice, what choices today, and the choice to be totally, totally present. I wrote this down. Are you willing to let what you desire in? So rather than, looking at not dying or truly living, then you have to quantify what truly living is. Hey, Mary Fletcher Farrell. I love that name. Cool. Just alliteration. Tessa says, I distract myself with what program to create. So here's the deal. Thank you, Tessa. Love you. Ask your business what it requires, right? Ask the program what it requires, right? You can test it out. Go into your Facebook site and say, hey, I'm thinking of creating this. Is this of interest for you? Most people who are creators of magnitude, they don't separate themselves from the people who they're playing with, who are following them, who they're working with. They actually dive in and ask, hey, I'm thinking of creating this. Would this be of interest to you? You want to create to not what you have chosen that people need to hear. I'll say that again. You do not want to create, when you create from what you've decided people need to hear, see, look, or with your business, you're eliminating them, right? You want to go to what they require. I often say talk, when I work with people in relationships, talk to what people can hear, right? So I would say, Tessa, do a little research, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, and ask questions of your business. I'm writing up something new. And I was like, and I was like, okay, ask for the download of all the most brilliant copywriters who had ease in their lives, not the ones that suffered, to come and find me. Asking for those energies. And all of a sudden around 5:30 last night, I'm like, ooh, typing away. It's just, be in the presence. You're not here alone. There are energies, your team, dinosaurs, whatever you want to call them, right, that are here to contribute to you. Ask, right? Again, all of this is here for you. It's about asking and not being distracted, right? Those distractions are put in place not by you, but by somebody who raised you, somebody who convinced you, somebody who you decided is right. Questions, anything popping? Hey, Radna, people are popping in. How's it going? Jeanette, hi. Hold on a second. Bettina says, what is required for the joy of embodiment? Great question. I would ask, what does embodiment mean to you? Right? Tessa says, thank you. That is brilliant. I forgot to ask. Radna says, you're such a beautiful gift. Oh, thank you for your joy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you, Radna. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for coming on today. So, Bettina, that's my question for you and for everybody else. We tend to learn something and then we throw it around. Ask, what does the joy of embodiment mean to me? What does it mean to me? What does embodiment mean to you? Right? Gloria says, wow, thanks, you're such a gift. Oh, thank you. Oh, you guys, I love you. Yeah, I would ask, what does embodiment, and be with that. One of the things that we haven't been gifting ourselves for the most part is the sense of space in which we ask a question. Right? I'll repeat that. The sense of space in which we actually ask a question. So ask yourself, it's dig deep. What does embodiment mean to me? So, everyone has their own way of being. So I might ask you, what does the joy of embodiment mean to you? Some people, their lives are embodied with anger, and they really love it. That's how they were taught that people relate. So they go to their habits, they go to their emotions to prove that they're alive, and they're having a good time doing it. That's how they embody their life and their living, through anger, through rage, through distraction. So you're kind of getting I'm giving you a little hint here, right? So there's an abundance of everything. So when we say, oh, I'm looking for the joy of embodiment, well, what does that mean to you, right? what does the joy, where do you get your joy is where what gives you joy is where I would play with that. Yeah. Break it down. That's how I play with my clients. We go out here and we break it down. Because if you chunk it down, all of a sudden you get these awarenesses, right? And you give yourself that space to, it's like a energetic download, right? It's like all of a sudden, that's an awareness that's actually congruent with everything else I'm creating with. Okay, cool. Yeah. Millie, I'm not sure I'm choosing to thrive. I'm not sure I'm choosing to thrive? Okay, surviving seems like how I function. How does it get any better than that? Okay, is that true? Is that true for you? True. Is that true? The thing is, again, either you're thriving or you're not. Right? What if thriving was an innate capacity that you had, no matter where, what, who, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it takes? Yeah. So again, when we say, I'm not sure, at what age did you learn to cover up what you truly know? By saying, I'm not sure. Isn't that interesting? All of these things that we were taught at a very young age, hi Samantha, with the language that we're using. With the language that you're using is the distraction that you're choosing by saying creation is a risk. The language that you're choosing is the distraction that you're using to keep you from knowing who, what, where, when, and how you truly are creating. Right? Play with that for a minute. Right? If we go back to the original question, the difference between choosing not to die and truly choosing to live, the difference between knowing and not knowing. Now, you never not know. Spoiler alert, you're always in your knowing. Are you willing to tap into it? Are you willing to tap into it in the presence of being present? Yeah. Everything else is navel gazing. Hold on a second, I'm going to go back here. So Millie, let me know how that goes. Sophie, thank you for this talk, Susan. You are so welcome. Thanks for writing in the question. Let's see, I was thriving and blah, blah, blah. Then I created a cancer. I gotta have created this, and conclusions were easier to die than to escape to this life as I was young. So now I know I choose not to die. And yes, it's not about truly choosing to live, but about trust. And just some memories and conclusions probably still have. Thank you. You are so welcome. Yes, I choose to be present and enjoy life. Love you. I love you too. Thank you for your vulnerability. I am so grateful for you and being present with this question. Yeah. And if you've just come on, for those of you who've just come on, have a re-listen. I dive in deep and fast, laser coaching at its best. And we've had a lot of juicy nuggets. So if you're coming in late, press hashtag replay. Let me know what pops for you, not just hashtag replay, because I come in every day and check you out. Teresa, so true. You just described my sister and father. Laugh out loud. Samantha Lewis is watching. Gloria, I've got lots of hearts. Sophie says yes. All of that comes from a young age. I've pointed many, still working on. Yeah, and the thing is, Millie says, oh my fucking God, always, and up to my childhood. How do you choose beyond that? I love you. Thank you so much. Well, here's the deal for choice. Choose what's congruent with what you're asking to create. Everything else, let it go. So, we always say, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to choose beyond? Just choose. Right? Start. It's a habit. It's a habit. Teresa says, yes, I'm present with life. It's awesome. Cool for you, Teresa. you know, the not choosing is a habit, because even not choosing is choosing not to choose, right? Like my taking 5 days to do this writing. And it was like, no, I'm like, I went to bed asking for help. I went to bed asking for help, right? I've been asking for knowing that all of this is here, that I created all of this and everything to have me sitting down writing right now, what I'm writing. It's like, oh, cool. It's all here. It's like going into your own personal grocery store and having everything you ever wanted and desired there, and you're going to choose it. I'm going to choose this now. I'm going to choose that. I'm going to taste this. I'm going to play with that, right? You are the one that stocked the grocery store. So there's nothing to pay for, right? That's about how do I choose beyond that? You know, you start to really choose with what's congruent. Because you, by the nature of who you be and what you be, the infinite being you truly be, what you came here to be and do, what you are doing, the gratitude for all of that, by the nature of who you be, choice is. Now, choice creates awareness. Ask a question. Right? What's beyond this? Not how do I choose beyond this? Wow. Acknowledge what's working, what doesn't work. Right? Acknowledge what's working, what doesn't work. It could be that, you know, you love your old habits. Knock yourself out. That's okay. How's it working for you? Right? I heard this wonderful thing today. I have to take a sip of water. Pardon me. I heard this wonderful thing today by something else I was listening to, that she was saying, what's going on the planet now is exactly what we've been asking for. We've been asking for clearer air, cleaner air, the gift of being in total loving allowance of the planet to breathe again, right? That's actually what we were asking for. It's not about going back to what was, it's about creating something greater with what we have been asking. Do you get the difference in the energies? It's not about A or B. It's about now, what questions can we ask? Now, how can we play? So that everybody is thriving. What could that look like? Millie, next Sunday, please talk more about finding out what you want, being congruent, and choosing it. I will, absolutely, I will. That's on the docket for next week. Thank you so much. I will do that. And give me some more information. Write some more information on that. I love that. I will talk next week about finding out what you want, being congruent, and choosing it. Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. Sophie says, so true for me. Just see the story as just a story. Absolutely. That's why it's called his story or her story. Yep. It's not real anymore, right? Not relevant anymore. And so I choose something else. Here's the thing. I love that. Thank you so much. A story is just a memory, right? Like, you know, when you go to the library and it's filled with books of other people's memories, other people's stories, and you take one out and you kind of get into it or whatever that is. Or you sit down with any book. It's someone's story, right? It could touch you in a certain way. You might learn from it. It's somebody's story, right? It's in the past. So I love that you said that. The story is just a story. It's a creation. And do you notice that as we retell our stories, they get more and more embellished, right? So the energy, when you tell your story, is it provocative? Does it give people a different way of being? You know, I'll often tell stories about myself in my life, and the target is to show you, oh, here's where it wasn't working so well, and here's where it's actually working so well, and this is how I play, right? So that you say, oh, you know what, maybe I'll check Susan out as my coach. Cool, right? When I give a talk about being fearless and everything that I've gone through and how I've come to be who I truly be. Right? It's the idea is to give people a different way for them to walk away having more of themselves, right? Because we're infinite. We have an infinite amount of everything. Hey, Ritu. So yes, I love that. A story is just a story. Tessa. This is lovely. Thank you. I was wondering what to do with what was on the shelves. If I'm not hearing the answer from my business, can I feel it instead? Yes. Here's what I do with what's on my shelves. I hold the book and I say, if I keep you, will you bring me joy? Right? There's one couple of books that I had. I went through my whole library over here, and there's a couple of books that I had, and I'm like, oh, I'm not getting any joy from this. Really? Oh, okay. Oh, I bought it and I didn't read it. Okay. No judgment. Right? And there's one or two that I bought 2 years ago that I didn't even crack open, and now I read some every day. It's now is the time. Right? So that's for everybody. When this is the time, by the way, to clear out. Use this time well. If time is real, use it, right? And this is a time to pick things up and toss them out. If you're not adding to my life, if you're not congruent with who I be, what I be, and I will talk about Millie, I will talk about this next Sunday. What is your foundation? And are you being congruent with your desires? I can't wait to talk about it. Okay, I better be quiet because I can go on for another hour on that one. Thanks so much. Yeah, okay. Let me know if that helped you at all. Yeah, about in choosing something else. Yeah. And Tessa, let me know if that assisted you at all with your books and your bookshelves. It's really about being present. Are you who you were when you actually put those books up there? I'm not. And everything shifts and changes. And for me, when I let go of something, the whole universe applauds and says, okay, now we have some room over there for this energetic download. That's what congruency is. Oh, but now we're talking for next Sunday. Okay, I adore you all. I love to keep these short and sweet. If you have any questions, write them in. I will come back as I always do. I have a little poll that I'm doing. I'm kind of curious about the belief systems. Hey, hi, do Samya. The belief systems that people have that they bring with them, and are they holding you back? So just scroll down a little bit on Ask Susan and check it out. I'd love to hear from you. What can I, how can I, who can I, where can I best serve you when we play this way? I'm curious, and I'm always cooking up new stuff, so you're assisting me in seeing where we need to go. We're growing strong. I adore you. Hey, invite your friends in. The more the merrier. Again, if you want to dive deep and you want to learn how to create a congruent life, private message me or go to susanlazarhart.com and just sign up for a check it out, let's talk kind of session, and we'll see what we can create together. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm getting all the thank yous and the hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Or just write me at susan@susanlazarhart.com and say, Susan, I want to talk with you. That's the easiest thing to do because I'm always there for you. I love you guys. Live boldly, love greatly, and be that fearless leader you came here to be. And I love it because these questions today have been fearless. And I love your vulnerability. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for all the hearts. And I adore you all. Have an amazing everything. Because it's truly, truly, truly by you choosing more of you, showing up every day in every way and being totally present, it changes the world. And thank you for changing mine. I adore you all, and I will see you next Sunday where we're talking about congruency. You're so welcome. Thank you. Bye, guys and gals. Bye-bye.